Near the village of Vishnupur, there was a beautiful forest where a boy named Raghav lived. He was hardworking and honest, but he always felt unhappy because of his habit of comparing himself to others. When he saw his friend Karan, the top student, Raghav wished he were just as intelligent. When he looked at his wealthy neighbor, he longed to have the same riches. Even when he saw someone running fast, he wished he could do the same. Over time, Raghav became discouraged, losing focus on both his studies and work. He felt like he could never be as successful as those around him. His disappointment grew stronger, draining his motivation. He didn't know how to escape this feeling until one day, a famous saint arrived in the village, known for his profound teachings about life. One day, a famous saint arrived in the village. He was known for his deep wisdom and ability to enlighten people about the truths of life. Upon hearing the news, Raghav felt a sense of hope. He decided to seek out the saint and share his struggles. He said, "Gurudev, I work very hard, but whenever I see someone better than me, I feel sad. I wish I were as intelligent as Karan, as wealthy as Sudar, or as fast as others. I always feel inferior and incapable of success. Please help me overcome this problem." The saint smiled and said, "Tomorrow morning, come to the largest tree in the village. There you will find the answer." Raghav found the saint's words strange, but he decided to follow his advice. The next morning, as the sun began to rise, he arrived at the old tree. The saint was already waiting. Pointing toward the forest, he asked, "What do you see?" Raghav observed for a moment and replied, "I see many different types of trees. Some are very tall, while others are short. Some bear plenty of fruit, while others do not." The saint smiled and said, "Now if the mango tree complained that it was not as tall as the coconut tree, or if the coconut tree was sad because it could not bear sweet fruit like the mango tree, would that make sense?" Raghav thought for a moment and then replied, "No, that would be unreasonable." The saint looked at Raghav and asked, "So, how do you see this forest?" Raghav observed for a moment and replied, "Gurudev, it looks beautiful and harmonious." The saint smiled. "That is the truth of life. Every tree has its own role. The mango tree is meant to bear sweet fruit, while the coconut tree is designed to grow tall and strong. They have different characteristics, yet both are important in their own way." Raghav nodded, but still had some doubts. Seeing this, the saint led him to a nearby pond. Inside, many fish were swimming. He pointed to a bird soaring in the sky and asked, "If the fish complained that it could not fly like the bird, would that be fair?" Raghav thought for a moment and then replied, "No, Gurudev, the fish is meant to swim, and the bird is meant to fly. Each has its own unique abilities." The saint smiled in satisfaction. "Then why do you want to be someone else? Every person's journey is unique. You too have strengths that others do not. If you keep comparing yourself, you will make yourself suffer." Hearing these words, Raghav suddenly had a moment of realization. He understood that comparing himself to others only brought unhappiness. From that day forward, he decided to focus on developing himself instead of measuring his success against others. After hearing the saint's teachings, Raghav felt enlightened. He realized that every person is born with a unique journey and purpose. If he kept comparing himself to others, he would only be hurting himself. From that day on, Raghav decided to change his mindset. He no longer worried about Karan being smarter or Sudar being wealthier. Instead, he focused on himself, on what he could improve every day. He understood that by making the best use of his abilities and opportunities, he could achieve success in his own way. Gradually, as he let go of the burden of comparison, Raghav began to feel happier. He rediscovered his passion for work and studies. His confidence returned, allowing him to work harder and develop himself in the best possible way. Years later, through persistence and dedication, Raghav built a successful career. He became a respected entrepreneur, admired by the entire village. However, the most important achievement was not his wealth or reputation, but the peace he found within himself. When people asked him about the secret to his success, Raghav always smiled and said, "Never compare yourself to others. If a fish tries to fly, it will always fail. But if it focuses on its ability to swim, it can rule the entire ocean. Recognize your strengths, focus on your own journey, and create success in your own way." Raghav understood that comparing himself to others only brought him misery. From that day forward, he focused on developing his own abilities instead of longing for what others had. Without the weight of comparison, he felt lighter and more energized. As time passed, through hard work and by making the most of his strengths, Raghav gradually achieved success. He built a stable career and became one of the most inspiring figures in the village. However, what truly made him happy was not wealth or fame, but the confidence and inner peace he had found. When asked about the secret to his success, Raghav always smiled and said, "Never compare yourself to others. If a fish tries to fly, it will always fail. But if it focuses on its ability to swim, it can master the entire ocean. Everyone has their own journey. Recognize your value, embrace your strengths, and walk the path that is right for you." Since he stopped comparing himself to others, Raghav found life more meaningful. He no longer felt sad about what he lacked, but instead focused on what he could do best. This shift in mindset helped him regain confidence and passion for his work. Gradually, through hard work and perseverance, Raghav built a successful career. He not only achieved his personal goals, but also became an inspiration to the people in his village. Everyone admired how he overcame self-doubt and rose through his own abilities. However, for Raghav, the most valuable achievement was not wealth or status, but inner peace. He realized that when people stop comparing themselves, they can fully enjoy life and maximize their potential. Whenever someone asked him about the secret to success, Raghav always smiled and said, "Never compare yourself to others. If a fish tries to fly, it will fail. But if it focuses on its ability to swim, it can master the entire ocean. Appreciate your own value, recognize your strengths, and walk the path that suits you." Success is not about being better than others, but about becoming the best version of yourself. Thanks to his change in mindset, Raghav no longer felt insecure or sad when he saw others succeed. Instead of wishing to be someone else, he focused on self-improvement, using his own strengths to rise above challenges. As a result, his life became lighter and more meaningful. In the years that followed, through hard work and determination, Raghav built a strong and stable career. He not only became a successful individual, but also an inspiration to his entire village. People admired him not just for his wealth, but for his positive attitude and relentless drive to improve. Raghav realized that success does not come from comparing oneself to others, but from understanding and maximizing one's own abilities. When we stop comparing, we can fully concentrate on our own journey, moving forward with confidence and true happiness. Whenever someone asked him about the secret to success, Raghav would simply smile and say, "Never compare yourself to others. Each person has their own journey and purpose. If a fish tries to fly, it will fail. But if it focuses on swimming, it can master the entire ocean. Appreciate yourself, focus on what you do best, and you will find success in your own way."